Now, okay, I see Pastor Rosalind Nichols, and I don't know who else, and anybody else that wants to stand. You want me to make that?
Yeah, anybody who wants to join us, please feel free to come and join us. Ian, brother, yeah, all are welcome. Thank you, Rosemary. All right. So we ready? Mm-hmm. So we want to appreciate, we first appreciate the media for showing up and really covering what the family has to say. I think it's important to hear from the family because the family will be around when the cameras are off. The family will be around once all the well wishes have been given and all the kind words have been stated. And they'll have to deal with this for years to come. This is not an easy task to do. So first, we want to lift up the name of Dr. Autura Eason-Williams. We want to thank God and thank the family for allowing us to serve this community in the way that she did. Her church was actually in District 12, Caperville, which is in my political district. And so I'm very familiar with the work that she's done in that community, but the work that she's done in this city, this county, and this state. And it will not be forgotten. I know that D.A. Wyrick has made a decision, and the question must be asked, is that what the family wants? And so we are here to give the family a platform, and we're going to support this family, and we're going to love this family, and we're going to support them in their decision as they seek peace with what has occurred. And so we're going to allow the family to speak, and the NAACP will just serve as a vehicle for the family to speak and to articulate what it would like to see, to articulate its wishes. This organization has been doing this work since 1909, and we're not going to stop now. And so I'm joined here by my executive director, Ms. Vicki Terry, and we thank her for her tireless efforts on behalf of the organization. And we're joined by a number of members of the clergy here who knew and loved Dr. Eason-Williams, and we're joined by her family. And so all will be allowed to speak and to lift up first the legacy of Dr. Autura Eason-Williams and articulate where they think we should be headed as far as remembering her legacy and as far as it relates to what should happen next with the individuals who committed this crime. So the family can proceed as they would like to. Thank you.
Good morning. As you know, Reverend Dr. Autura Eason-Williams was gunned down in her driveway. The context is that three gentlemen went 150 feet from the street up to her home and took her life. We, the family, the Eason family, Eason-Williams, Armfield, Fryer, are deeply devastated by what has happened and do not want this to be a political show horse for anyone or any political office, but want the community to understand, and those who have suffered loss due to gun violence or carjackings or anything of that nature, we are grieving with you as well. But justice must be served. The children that you see here with me, my family, we're not asking for leniency in this case. We are asking for justice to be served. As my cousin was in the process of assisting to a plan, a family reunion. enjoy time with her sister, enjoy time with her extended family, looking forward to seeing her children be successful and looking forward to meeting her grandchildren. That is the context. So we are not looking for leniency in this process. And you will hear more from her daughter, her oldest child, Ayanna Hampton, who will give you more to that context as to what she would express the wishes of her mother and what this family would like to see.
Good morning. Micah 6:8 says, "What does the Lord require but that we act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God?" I am 31 years old today, and it is my first birthday without Reverend Dr. Autura Eason-Williams, my first birthday without my mother, a woman who lived this mandate, who taught it to her children. She led her congregations in the Metro District as a whole in seeking abundant life through the promise of God's prevenient grace. My mother and I led signpost groups that study how the church has been complicit in racism and injustice, and explores our call to advance Christ's vision for beloved community. Two quotes from our reading from Brian Stevenson's Just Mercy are at the forefront of this experience of tragic loss. The first one says, "The power of mercy is that it belongs to the undeserving. It is when mercy is least expected that it is most potent, strong enough to break the cycle of victimization and victimhood, retribution and suffering. It has the power to heal the psychic harm and injuries that lead to aggression and violence, abuse of power, and mass incarceration." It goes on to say that mercy is just when it is rooted in hopefulness and freely given. Mercy is most empowering, liberating, and transformative when it is directed at the undeserving. The people who haven't earned it, who haven't even sought it, are the most meaningful recipients of our compassion. It is for this reason that I, yesterday, asked District Attorney Wyrick not to charge the children that are involved in my mother's murder as adults. The first reason was that my mother was a champion for system-involved young people. She spent years working with Colonel Kirkwood and our Memphis Police Department on interventions for young people so that they do not go to prison and come back. How do we decrease our recidivism rates? What has to happen in our communities that people don't feel like they have to steal? That is a question that she has asked. That is a question that she looked toward when she was running for bishop in her campaign. What has to happen in our society, in our city, that people don't feel like they have to commit crimes against their neighbors? How do we actually become neighbors? I feel like it's wrong to use her death to advocate for something that she would absolutely disagree with. My mother was a visionary leader. I do not want us to miss the opportunity to envision the improvements that we can make to our juvenile justice system so that we are not convinced that we have to send children to adult prison for them to suffer the proper consequences that will fit their crime. I was told yesterday that there were more supports, there would likely be more supports for these children in the adult system than there would be in the juvenile system. And if that's the truth, that is an atrocity. That makes no sense. That is not the kind of person that my mother was, and it makes me sick to my stomach that her death is being used to advocate for and to advance narratives that she fought against every day of her career. I thank you all for being here. Please continue to pray for my family, for my mother's friends, for the United Methodist Church, and for all the lives that she touched. The thing that I ask of you and of everybody for my birthday is to please go vote, go early vote in Memphis and Shelby County, and vote for people who want to do something different. Vote for some people that are advocating for change and that are working in our communities to be the change that they would like to see. Thank you.
So as you can see, we are on one accord. And while it may not sound like to many that we want justice to be served, if you heard her words, you understand clearly what it is that we mean. These gentlemen can get justice and time served right now where they are. They don't have to go to adult prison to serve time as young people. My cousin died at the age of 52 years old, plus 21 days. Subtract the young killer age from my cousins. That's 37 years plus 21 days. He can get his time served in that capacity, from a young man to an old man, to understand the error of his ways. I thank you, and again, please continue to pray for our family. Please keep us lifted up. And for those of you who have also lost loved ones in the same capacity or worse, we grieve with you as well, and understand that we are on the same side of the same coin and wanting the same thing. Justice for Autura Eason-Williams, and justice for your families as well. Thank you.
Sir. Say your name, Mrs. Valley, just so that we have it open.
Ayanna Hampton, Ayanna, Hampton.
Darryl Lewis, Darylewis.
Are you the oldest child?
Yes.
Oldest child. And if I may follow up, having this today, what do you hope maybe the DA may change her mind in pursuing the adult charges? What impact do you hope you all speaking out will have on this decision as it's still going through, the juvenile system right now?
That's the impact. And to be able to make it clear what my mother's position would be, because I've been seeing and hearing a lot of people talking about what justice is or what they would like to see. But if it is not what my mom would want to see, then that's not justice. And so for me, if I were to say, throw those children under the jail, charge them as adults, give them the death penalty, send them to jail forever, I would not have learned anything from my mother in 31 years.
Right.
And so the testament to my faith, the testament that I actually learned the things that she taught me, is that even when it was my mother laying dead in her driveway, I have to absolutely believe in God's ability to redeem any person. That's not my job. But I also believe in the power of our systems to actually be changed. I believe in the capacity of the people that are envisioning a better Memphis to actually do something to improve these systems. And so if we decide to throw them away, we're not doing anything about the actual problem. I would love for us to use it. If we're going to use this for anything, use it as an opportunity to address the real issue. What has to happen so that a child is not put in this situation where this is their 5th or 6th time being involved?
And what has it meant for you that the police chief held a news conference yesterday? We've seen how much the clergy in the city, what your mom meant to them. What has this situation meant, and hopefully her legacy in changing how, the intervention and making sure her legacy continues in the outreach that your mother did for so many years with juveniles?
I can speak on that a little bit.
And our condolences first and foremost.
Go ahead, say your name.
Yeah, I'm Terrence Hampton Jr., Terence Hampton Jr. I am Dr. Autura Eason-Williams' third child. And this is just speaking from testimony. I'm 24 years old. She's been a pastor the majority of my life, and before that she was a youth pastor. And since then, I've pretty much walked with her every step of the way of her journey. I've been there as she worked with youth. I've been there as she worked with children. I've been there as she worked with kids the same age as the kids that did this to her. And she taught me grace and love, and she taught me the value of community and helping those kids. I do that to this day. I coach kids at that field right across the street. I mentor kids that are in the same situations, the same issues, that have the same problems. And I went to a HBCU, and I went to Rest College, and a lot of those kids were troubled. And I sat down with them, and I learned from my mother to meet them where they are. Come with them with grace, come with them with love. And I know that there aren't enough people like my mother in this city. We need more. So as far as like keeping her legacy alive, I need me, my siblings, and all of you, and all those people that spoke yesterday, to do whatever you can to help these kids not do things like that. Whether you volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club, it could be as small as that. Donate some money so they can have more programs. Start a youth program yourself. It doesn't have to be faith related. You could be Muslim. You could be atheist. Do something. That's what she would want. She didn't care what race you were. She didn't care what religion you were. She didn't care what sexuality, none of that. She just wanted people to love. She just wanted people to grow. She just wanted people to do the things that, one of the things she would say was love all the people. If you see somebody that's struggling, help them. If you see a kid that looks like they're going off the path, speak to them. Don't be afraid. It's a child. I don't care if they got a gun. I don't care if they just carjacked somebody. Help them. Talk to them. Because obviously someone's not doing it. And you could be that change. Thank you.
And I do want to say it has been very encouraging, the swiftness and the thorough investigation that the Memphis Police Department is pursuing. I have encouraged them to be as thorough as possible. That is part of the reason that I am very serious about supporting and the community supports for these children, because whatever has happened, this is a situation that does not make sense. And so I would like to know what is going on. If it's a random act of violence, that will be fine with me. But if it's not, I would like to know. And so whatever has to happen for them to be willing to participate and know that they are supported by community, I want that to happen. Because I have community. They might not. And that matters to me. And so it has been very encouraging, to answer your question, that MPD and the other pastors, my mom's co-workers, Methodist Hospital, everyone has been very supportive of us in this process. Thank you.
Yesterday, a 20-year-old was arrested for your mother's murder. What are your thoughts about that individual? Obviously being older than the 15-year-old.
I don't have any thoughts about an adult being charged as an adult for the crime that they committed. My primary concern is with children not being charged as adults.
Ms. Hampton, can you expound at all about what justice looks like for you? Is it remaining in juvenile court? Have you thought about that, or is that up to, what was the family want to see in terms of what justice looks like for the juveniles?
This case remaining in juvenile court, being charged seriously, but then also this being an opportunity to provide supportive services to these children. Again, they told me yesterday that there were fewer supports in juvenile court than there were in adult court, and that makes no sense. And so if you can't try them the way that you're supposed to in juvenile court, that means you need to fix your court. That means that you need to improve your system. And so justice for me is not just about these 3 kids, it's about every single child. The thing that my brother said in the car this morning was that this is something that every child that's system involved should have to go to counseling, and they should have to go to therapy, and they should have to have drug and alcohol treatment if that's something that applies to them. That's every child should be treated with humanity. Every child should be treated like a child that has experienced something traumatic, and now they're dealing with the consequences of it. Not just these 3, but justice for me would be that this system looks different by the time we get out of this trial. That would be justice for me.
So we have a few things going on, but what I want to do, just for the record, is for each person to announce who they are and the organization they represent, because I want, as Ayanna has said, as Sister Ayanna has said, to let the public know that this is a family, this is a village that's going to surround this family, uplift this family, and support this family. And so I know we have, just come around. Yes.
All right.
Ian Randolph. I'm chair of the Political Action Committee for the National Association of African American People, NAACP, and I'm also a member of the Shelby County Voter Alliance, of which Micah and Ayana participate.
My name is Rosemary Winters. I am the secretary of the NAACP Executive Committee, and I'm also the state executive committee woman for District 33.
I'm Josh Spickler. I'm with Just City.
Right, this is family here.
My name is John Tyler Hampton. I'm Autura Hampton's second child.
My name is Gwendolyn Hampton. I'm Atura's fourth child.
Vicki Terry, Executive Director of the NAACP Memphis branch.
Earl Fisher, Abyssinian Baptist Church, seminary classmate of Dr. Autura Hampton at the time, but Eason-Williams, and friend of the family.
Rosalind Nichols, pastor of Freedom's Chapel Christian Church and president of Micah, and friend of Dr. Eason-Williams.
Carol Jackson, executive director of Families Matter and friend of the Hampton family.
Ayana Watkins, executive director and lead organizer for Micah, and here to support the family.
Okay. So do you want the clergy to speak?
You all said what needed to be said.
What they said.
We don't need to say
All right,
anything.
all right.
Amen.
Now, you know it's something special when the preacher and the clergy say, it's been said.
Offer the mic and don't take that.
So it has been spoken so eloquently by this sister here. I want her to come up here again and stand with me. I know her mother is smiling down from heaven. I don't know if I would have had the courage and ability to do what this sister has done. I really don't know if I could have done it. And so I just want to tell the sister we love you and we support you, and you are definitely carrying out your mother's legacy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Legacy continues.
All right. So we'll continue to be a platform for this family. Whenever they call on us, we'll be here. This is not over. And this sister said something powerful. Instead of looking at just this one case, let's look at the system which leads us to this situation over and over and over and over again. Something is wrong, and it has to be fixed. And so we'll leave it there. What we're going to do now is we have recipients of Uplift the Community, and these organizations are here to effectuate what Dr. Autura Eason-Williams wanted to do. They're here to be boots on the ground to help out with all the issues that are in the community. And these are not the big organizations that you see. These are the small organizations that are down the street, in the neighborhood, walking the streets, dealing with the gangs, dealing with the ones who are in trouble and are in need. And so we partner with Kroger and some other organizations and Tri-State Defender newspaper to give out grants to these organizations. And so what we're going to do is have a shift. Any other family members that want to remain or clergy that would like to remain may remain. After we finish this, we're going to talk about the elections and our stance on term limits and our upcoming Freedom Fund luncheon as well, which will be this Saturday. So recipients, please make your way up. And no one has to leave now because I'm sure they'll want to do interviews after the press conference. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Your mom, you Gwendolyn.
Thank you all so much again for coming out, and as we said,